Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for April 1st. April 1st is the 91st day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 92nd in leap years, with 274 days remaining to the end of the year. April 1st is the first day of the second quarter of the year and the midway point of the first half of the year, as well as the ever-popular April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day is an annual custom in many countries across the world when people play pranks, pull hoaxes, and practical jokes. There are several competing ideas as to the origin of April Fool's Day, so let's just say it's been around since at least the 1500s, and probably even as far back as the 1300s. I always think it's especially funny when someone you wouldn't think would pull an April Fool's prank does. And one of my faves, as I've mentioned before, is Water on Mars, where I first saw it on NASA's astronomy picture of the day way back in the 20-aughts. April 1st. Today's word is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That is a great word for April 1st. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious doesn't appear in Merriam-Webster, but it can be found in several other online reference sources. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is an adjective that's used as a nonsense word to express approval or to represent the longest word in the English language. I don't know for sure if it's really the longest word in the English language, but it does contain 34 letters and 14 syllables. If you know of a longer word, drop it in the comments for me. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is a compound word composed of parts of several other words, and if one took meaning from the words whose parts compose it, you could come up with something like a literal meaning, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense that way. The first time supercalifragilisticexpialidocious appears is in an article in 1931 where it's said to be a word that implies all that is grand, great, glorious, splendid, superb, and wonderful, and was then later popularized in the 1964 movie Mary Poppins, who says of the word that supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is something to say when you don't know what to say. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Today's word, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, was suggested by viewer Easy9 over on Odyssey. Thanks, Easy9. And if you have a word you'd like us to take a look at, be sure and drop it in the comments. And with that, way back, when the United States was just getting on its independent little feet before they ultimately decided to make Washington, D.C. the government's permanent home, Congress gathered in New York City, and it was on April 1st, 1789, that the House of Representatives achieved its first quorum and elected their first Speaker of the House, Frederick Muhlenberg of Pennsylvania. Yesterday, we talked about the U.S. territory of the Virgin Islands, which was acquired from Denmark. I've been surprised at the colonies Denmark has held over the centuries, and today we're going to talk about the Faroe Islands, sometimes simply called the Faroes. This is an archipelago in the North Atlantic Ocean, northwest of Britain. And on April 1st, 1948, the Faroe Islands achieved independence as an autonomous territory of Denmark. Faroe Islands. Today's song is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. This is a show tune from the 1964 movie Mary Poppins, written by the songwriting team of brothers Richard and Robert Sherman, better known as the Sherman Brothers. We find this song in the movie Mary Poppins and in the original cast soundtrack record for the movie. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious was then also released as a single in 1964 by Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke. Given the success of the song, in 1965, another pair of songwriters tried to claim a copyright infringement on a song they'd written in 1949. Seems their complaint was chiefly over the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but the defendants were able to prove that variants of the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious had been known for many years before the plaintiffs had written their song. You can find historical references of it spelled quite differently, several variations of spelling. a fun song from the fun movie Mary Poppins. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, link in the description. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. This is the birthday.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't talking to you. And from the Life is What Happens When You Make Other Plans department. Oh, where's your microphone? Oh, get your microphone. What is it with you and this microphone? Okay, here we go. Maybe we could get a little camera back up there again. Right there. Little bitty tiny camera. Make it small right there. You're here with me live this morning as I stumble through. Oh, I'm so sorry. My apologies here. I thought I had it all ready to go and I just didn't, I guess. So I thought I was ready to go, and my apologies for the hiccups and the baubles. See, that's all stuff that gets edited out in the edited versions. We'll have a lot to edit today. Cacophony is a sound. Oh, cacophony is a noun that you got to read it the right way. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.